This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/awesomecast. Time to get geeky, get awesome. Time to update that number because I didn't do that before the show. This is the AwesomeCast. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Doing a little travel this week for work and a little bit of play. And that's why we are delivering this. If you're noticing on the calendar when you're hearing this, it may be a day later than you expect because I decided to spend Halloween in Detroit. I am a juggalo, and I've never been to see ICP in their hometown of Detroit, seen Hallowicked or anything like that. And I just it was about 3 or 4 bucket list items last night, which I'll probably talk about more in the Wrestling Mayhem show because it's actually wrestling related to how I got there. So had a blast with that. Go check out my social medias at Sorgatron everywhere. I actually going to be posting some stuff here in a little bit, hopefully this evening. But it was a blast for that, and even a little bit of the geeky technology stuff maybe happened a little bit there with some behind the scenes, seeing some of the tech that they were using to film a very Faygo soda flying show. But with me on this odd night is of course, oh no, I have to plug his thing in. He's here. I swear he's here, but we did a different thing in the studio, and I rushed in here because I had to have a pie date with somebody. But Dave Podner, here's in the ether. Dave Podner, are you with us?
I'm here, so
Halloween, post-Halloween.
I'm here.
A post-Halloween seance in the studio.
Yes, we're transitioning from Halloween seance to the 3 ghosts of Christmas now.
No. The ghosts of Thanksgiving turkeys past. Don't skip a holiday on me. What are you doing, Dave?
I'm doing what everyone else is doing, including.
Okay, you freaking holiday lemming.
Well, no. I just happened to see in the store. This is in response to our friends Tati and Zeke.
Okay.
On X, Twitter, whatever.
Tatiana wrestles, and
yes.
Zeke Mercer on yes. the TweetX. On the
TweetX, saying they're hearing Christmas music already, and it's too early. And Ronnie Starks, which I forget what his thing is, he's back on Twitter, and he's like, I agree. And then I saw in the store they had Captain Crunch Christmas Crunch out already.
Yeah, that's a problem.
They got rid of Count Chocula. They got rid of Blueberry. They got rid of Frankenberry. Just like, wait a minute. Oh, it is 12:01. You never existed.
I saw him setting up Christmas decorations to Rite Aid on like Friday, and I was really sad. I was really, really sad. So that was a thing. Anyways, so it's good to be with you. Let's have there's some geeky stuff. There's some Apple news that happened this week, and actually I think it's going to be a little bit of my awesome thing, but maybe not what you think if you haven't been checking out all the geeky Apple-ness. But actually, I'm not sorry. We came in so hot to the show because it's so. Listen, man, I got back to Pittsburgh after an overnight drive at like 10 a.m. So please bear with me. Like 10 a.m. this morning from Detroit. So it was a adventurous ride home. Let's just put it that way. Shout out to my boy Facade, old time Juggalo, that we got to go hang out with, and he had to have his first match with JCW. But again, we'll talk about that on the Mayhem show. Anyways, what the hell do you have here? Did you put anything in the notes?
I did. I have something.
It's a Rite Aid. The guys that I was mad about.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We're gonna talk about Apple. We're gonna talk about Apple in just 1 second, but I want to check out your thing first.
This is a shocking thing. So we'll add the Thanksgiving related. It's shocking.
Shocking. Hey, I didn't plug in my laptop. Keep talking.
Okay, so unfortunately, over this past weekend, Ruth woke up and had a severe pain in her leg. Found out she has we think, a pinched nerve in her back. Mm-hmm. So one thing they suggested that would help her out is a TENS device.
Okay. Missy had these.
Yep. So we went to Rite Aid.
Yeah.
And we picked up one of these ones.
Okay.
And we went. This one has heat also. Mm-hmm. So it's got the 2 channels. So it's got, you put one on one side of your leg, one on your other side of your leg. It's got 36 programmable settings. Mm-hmm. So you can select different things for depending on how you want to do. It is rechargeable by USB-C right into a computer, because that's how the TENS things actually get hooked up by USB-C.
And if you don't know what TENS unit, it's an electrical charge that kind of activates your muscles a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm. So, exactly. So
we're familiar with this because you probably don't know this, but Missy and I were in a car accident in our college days, and she had some ongoing shoulder pain issues with it was like that muscle tissue thing that nobody could ever properly diagnose to be able to take care of, kind of thing that lingered. Right. But we had a TENS unit. And of course, another friend of ours, Chachi, would put him on, I don't know, his nipples and see what would happen. Because, we're of that age. But don't do that, okay? No. Don't do that. That's a bad idea. We learned. And we were young and dumb. And now we're just not young. So...
In fact, when I was reading the directions on what you should do and should not do, it says specifically, do not put over your heart, as it could cause cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
Because you're putting a decent amount of electrical charge through the skin, and if it gets deep enough, it also said don't put it on your neck, because it could cause contractions, which could cause issues. Now, of course, this is something like, this is over the counter.
Yes.
And you're seeing all these warnings. I'm like, huh?
This could kill you,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not used to that.
There's a lot of things over the counter that can kill you if you really think about it. So,
true,
most of them are under your sink.
Yeah, but that's being used. It isn't a matter of, I put it here on my chest instead of here on my side is enough to do me in. Or I'm putting it shoulder, good. Front of the chest, bad. That's not good. That's not good. But no, so we got this, and it does seem to help. And I'm using it also on my knee. Nice. Because when I did go to physical therapy, they always asked me, "Do you want?" Well, when I went to PT at UPMC, most of the time I ended up with a TENS being iced after doing PT on my knee. And the one thing that's hilarious, I kind of find funny. It's funny because no one's getting hurt severely. And it happens to Ruth.
That's the line.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, no one's getting hurt severely. Is that Ruth puts it on and she's like, putting it to 24, it goes like 0 to 50. So she gets it like on her leg, like 24, 25, then she'll go 25 and then she'll hit, and it feels fine. Everything's good. Then she'll go next one up, one more up. She'll go, just that. It isn't a matter of like, you go from, it feels okay, I'll try one more, and it just feels a little tingly. It goes from, it feels okay, I could try one more, to, it feels like I'm getting electrocuted. It's like that. There's like a massive jump up as when you hit your your level goes from okay, zing.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah.
Zing you with electricity. But yeah, so you know what though? I mean, this is a little bit more expensive unit. You can get them on Amazon for cheaper. We just happened to leave urgent care on Sunday, and it was like, okay, where can we pick one up now?
It's nice that you can though. So
yeah,
so this is so again, it's a TENS EMS heat device, 2 heat settings, 3-in-1. This one is at Rite Aid, but of course, I mean, some people don't even have a Rite Aid near them. So be wary of that, of course. Yeah, no, very, very helpful. And it's how I say, familiar with the 20-year-old version of this, I guess, which I think is still floating around the house somewhere. So go check that out. Well, there was an Apple announcement, but I don't want to talk about Macs necessarily. And I don't want to show the video, unfortunately, so I'm going to describe it because I don't want to get pulled down by Apple or anything. But well, yeah, I guess we can do some images. I listen. The other thing talking about this was showing images on YouTube, so I think we're going to be okay. So I didn't watch I was quite busy with things on Monday, so I didn't get to watch any of the Apple announcements or anything like that. God, what did I do Monday? Anyways, oh, that's right, I was doing a podcast at that time. So they did the event, and then they released a behind-the-scenes video. You can go to Apple's YouTube page, behind-the-scenes, an Apple event shot on iPhone. And it's from, a day ago. So already got 1 million views. Of course, it's Apple. But, those beautiful shots of Tim Cook and the flyovers and the drones, and they're shooting at night and everything like that. And you see all the equipment and the crane for the camera and everything. But when you go in here, and I'll see if I can find a shot of that for you, all of this is being shot on an iPhone 15 Pro Max. Pro Max.
Pro Max.
It just says Pro in here, so but still.
Oh, okay.
But still,
it's probably the Pro Max.
ProRes Apple log, USB-C, you're connecting everything in. But the thing is, and this was really funny because I showed up. I had a miscommunication last night because one of the reasons I got to go to Detroit was they're like, oh, yeah, hey, you can film the thing. We're not exactly sure what you're doing in this. Let's just go and do it to have it. So I got to go in and do that. I missed the part of the message because I was coming off of another show and was not entirely in my right mind. When I read the request to, hey, and bring your camera, and I did not. But I did have my iPhone 13 Pro Max, right, with my terabyte. Although it has been a pain in the ass to try to get the video off of it today. This is still a problem. Wish I had USB-C, guys. But I'm very happy with it. And I was looking at it, and I showed Dutters this earlier, and she's like, this looks as good as any wrestling show. And this was like, and we don't shoot in 4K, and now they have 4K video from ringside of this thing. The only complaint I have is zoom. Like, I don't have a proper zoom function with this, and I didn't have any of my gear, so I had to hold it the whole time. But I'm really happy with it. Like, I know how to do that. I know I have a steady hand. I know how to work around the limitations of it because I've been doing it for so long. Regularly, we talk about. I was listening to somebody today and said, "Oh, all my corporate work is done through an iPhone." I was like, the hell? And other friends of ours that do a lot of stuff with corporations, like it's all through the iPhone. They're doing incredible stuff through the iPhone, right? Yeah. So, but and that's great. Also, this phone is the same price as the cameras I would have brought. So we're kind of 1-in-1 at that point. But also the idea is you don't just hold this phone and do it like a freaking tourist. You put it in a cage. You put a good microphone on it. But that's also what you do with, pro cameras these days. You get a Sony, you get a Red, you get a Blackmagic, and it's a box and doesn't even have a lens. That's exactly what they're doing here. They're taking that out. They're doing outputs from the iPhone. Obviously, this is still like a $500,000 probably production, right? They just centered all of it around the technology that they built in the iPhone to show, hey, we can do it. They did a lot of it at night because they're showing off, as a lot of people I've listened to have talked about with this. So I mean, they have it unplugged and it's plugging into an array of hard drives, so you get the full ProRes log, holy crap, footage to do what you need to do with this. It's incredible, right? So you see all these outputs are coming from iPhones, and it's really just Apple's just putting their big iPhone on the table for everybody to see. Let's put it that way. So that's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. And
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No.
Let's say one nitpicking I'm seeing, and I'm annoyed at the nitpick, is exactly what you said. They're saying, well, it says shot on iPhone, but look at all the other stuff they got going on. And I'm like,
and that's somebody
it's
that
a
doesn't
professional shoot.
Right. And it's you say it's a conventional shoot. Like literally, look at the behind the scenes of Suicide Squad, and you'll see they talk about some interesting things. I watch the behind the scenes. That's why I still buy DVDs or Blu-rays. Because I will get the features that I don't think I get when I purchase them directly. Or they'll be on the disc if I don't get them through like the Apple library or something. So that's a big thing for me. I love the behind the scenes of movies. And they have a red camera, and the red is, if you look up the red camera, it's a box. It's just a box. And they put it in this thing, and there's like this swivel thing they can do with it because it's such a small form factor, right? The creator that just came out was shot on a Sony FX3s, which again I think that's just a body camera, right? It looks like it's a cinema camera, but they just, if you looked at it, if it'll load, it's only a $4,000 camera, and it looks like a point and shoot without a lens on it, right?
Yeah.
And they shot a Hollywood movie with this thing because that's the thing that the guy bought and he knew, So I don't know if this is the exact model because it's saying Alpha FX3, but it's at least similar. It's in this prosumer. This is the same level of a lot of the productions I've done for bigger promotions, right? Our cameras like this prosumer level, not TV, but prosumer, high level, we're streaming to pay-per-view kind of thing, right? So and if you did the proper things, and I do not recommend using this for high action sports or anything like that. I don't think it works for it. I think there's a lot of functionality that you could add to it and maybe it'll work. That's fine. But in the meantime, I think for a post-production situation like this, fantastic. We use this. We didn't have a camera. Something happened. It didn't make it to one of our shoots for our training nights for wrestling. And we did put this on a tripod and linked it into our switcher and used an iPhone for the night for the fourth camera, the spare fourth camera, the kind of extra angle thing, right? Less important camera, not moving, not primary to the action, but a nice little cutaway. That's one of the things where we've used that, and you could get Filmic or the Blackmagic camera and have more control over it. I just showed Katie the Blackmagic camera at dinner actually, and she was kind of blown. She was really kind of digging all that she could do with it, right? And I'm also like, hey, if you start using this, and you ever on a production with me, and I need to hand you the Blackmagic recorder device, this is familiar, Or you get a Blackmagic Cine camera like the Sony. It's very familiar. I know I'm going a lot of places with this, but but this is freaking exciting, man. This is really exciting. And also it's me sitting here saying I'm not doing enough with this thing, and I'm already doing corporate videos with this thing, and pairing them with the $4,000 camera, So
well, and when you get the 15 Pro, and you can do it in
oh my God, the ideas I have.
the and I forget the exact term right now. My brain's a little fogged, but the equivalent of video raw. Where it comes out flat. ProRes. But not just ProRes.
And log. And log.
And
And I got a friend who shoots his wrestling shows in log. And I've been starting to talk with him, and I started looking at the higher end camera I had in the meantime, because I want to learn, because I've never heard of log openly in as much until the iPhone announced it a month ago.
Yeah.
And now everybody's talking about it. I was like, oh, yeah, that's what I use. And I do this, this, and this. I'm just like, okay. And then I looked at my camera. I was like, oh, I didn't even know my camera did this, right? But it's the right level that it would. So it's just I need to learn this so I can step up my game now. And now, if I upgrade my phone this year, which I probably will, to be honest, as long as I get some stuff sorted, it's on the agenda. I will update it just to have that tool in my quiver and upgrade what is already doing fantastically on the 13 Pro Max, right? And just expand that even more, And it's just Like it's just like it's amazing. It's freaking amazing, you know.
Yeah.
And then even like times like, oh man, maybe I'm too limited doing this stuff. I was just like, I look at what they're doing. It's like, oh no, I'm just not doing it the right way, you know. And then you just learn a little bit more about that and see what the possibilities are. It's just it's such an incredible time for this kind of thing. But also, if you're a professional that's trying to make a living at this, you have to figure out the thing that you do that the person with the phone in their pocket can't do, so you can actually still pay your bills. So it's exciting and it's scary, but it's exciting. But it's also scary. But also technology, guys. If I was sitting here slinging websites in HTML like I was in 2002, I wouldn't have a house. So you know, you got to roll with it.
Well, it's kind of like a friend of mine, Mark Sadowski. He was one of the founders of the Tiny Shutter podcast back in the day before it went away and transitioned.
Yeah.
His side gig is a wedding photographer.
Sure.
Well, you know, in terms of anyone can get a camera, anyone can take pictures, but he has to bring something different, unique to say, here's my package, here's what you get, and, you know, you need to pay, you know, my rates are whatever, $1,000, $2,000.
But also, why are you worth all this? You still have to prove yourself to these people, right? Like,
and that's where the skill.
Yes.
You know, it's kind of like people. It's kind of like if you play baseball or play golf, you know, especially golf, people go for the very expensive clubs because that's going to make them better. The piece of technology. This club has titanium and it has this. And, well, if you don't have the skill, if you don't have the practice, if you don't,
I learned that a lot.
That won't help.
That's why we do use the cameras that we do for general production, because they're idiot proof. We used to use higher end cameras for a lot of our productions that were live productions, and then realized we were handing to people that didn't necessarily know they know how to shoot a camera and they know how to frame and they know how the show works, right? But they, you know, if I hand them something with all these buttons on the side, they're not going to know an iris and gain and this and ISOs and things like that. How I have problems with them sometimes, right? Like, because I'm used to this run and gun thing. But when I'm in the middle of a show and they're hanging off a cage and we can't figure out why the white balance is green, you know, like that's a freaking problem. So I want a simple interface for the people, but if it's something where I'm doing and I have full control, I want all the bells and whistles, right? But also I need to understand the bells and whistles. I've seen people with $4,000 cameras doing a show, with 3-camera show, and it looks, my $1,500 cameras, my $800 cameras look better on the show than theirs do, right? Because it's not exactly what you said. It's what you know about the product. I could make with a standard iPhone within the past, let's say 4 years, I can probably make a general production look pretty damn good. Okay? Because I've been freaking doing this for 30 years, okay? I've been playing with video for 30 years. Yeah. Let's just say 30 years. I know what the freak I'm doing. When I got stuck with just my iPhone and no gear on it, I knew how to move with it. I knew how to adjust with it, you know, and that's experience, or that is, you took time to learn it. You didn't just push. Plus, there's the thing that I'm doing, and then watching everybody at the concert jumping around trying to film the stage. You've all seen it, right? Or at wrestling shows or something like that. Yeah, they got their phone up and they're filming, but they're also like yelling and da 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 da, and not really looking at their screen, you know. So like it's interesting. We're this amazing time where we have a production studio in our pockets, everybody, and so many people make junk video, and you know, which is like great, but great, you know. So, but I guess that's the home movie aspect of a lot of things. We have the home movie camera in our pocket too. So, like,
yeah. And back in the day, not everyone could have a home movie camera.
No. I remember my grandpa having it. I was so fortunate my grandpa had it, and I got some of my musicals from when I was a kid on tape, and I digitized a couple of them a few years ago, right? And backed them up on YouTube secretly. I'm not putting that out there for public. You got it. Yeah, it's an extra Patreon level if you want to see me in the production of Bye Bye Birdie from high school, okay? So I don't even know if I sang in that one. Maybe in a group. Oh, I did a quartet in the one. What was that one? It was like Wow, I forgot about that play. I did do like a barbershop quartet spot in one of those. Anyways,
when you said quartet, I was wondering if we're talking barbershop here.
Yeah, it was a barbershop.
The answer is yes.
It was like, now I'm thinking about it. It was something we did like 3 different short plays or something like that, maybe, or maybe it was Bye Bye Birdie actually. Maybe because I think I played like 3 characters in that actually. I was the guy that handed.
That sounds high school. I
was the person that handed the guy the guitar. The birdie, I guess, was the guy. They wanted me to learn the guitar, and it just wasn't working. I'm just like, I'm not figuring this out in 3 weeks, guys. So, I was just like, I play the trombone. I don't know if I got the dexterity for this. So, anyways, enough of that. But no, this is very exciting. Watch, it's like 2 minutes, and if you geek out about behind the scenes production, like it's like, okay, they do this, and it's always, and this is the thing. I was just making a joke with somebody about, I go to SummerSlam because of research and development. Literally, most of the things I've learned about video production was going to Monday Night Raw when it sucked here in Pittsburgh. Like 10 years ago, when we really didn't give a crap about it, other than it was on and it's the wrestling. But I was not interested in the in-ring. I was interested in watching. I always had all the production monkeys, right? Okay, this guy does that. That guy does that. That camera stands there and gets this angle. That guy gets there, and I'm watching the screen. I'm watching what that guy's doing. And we've adapted that into our low-end productions. Like, well, we can't do that and that because we don't have the budget for those people. But I know if this guy does this and this guy does this, and maybe he tweaks things a little bit this way, he can cover this too. Like, you can make a decent looking production, right? And that's where most of my philosophy has come from, kind of a self-taught, and then now I'm working with higher level people like, well, we did things a little bit this way. I was just like, okay, let's try that, and being open to that, right? I'm sorry, I'm going on a creativity thing here, so I'm sorry, my mind, I feel like my mind's been shut down for the last 3 days, 4 days, 5 days with some stuff that's been going on, and I'm just like, listen, I spent a lot of time in a car by myself this weekend. and whoo, it's getting and that's why I'm like that's why I'm talking to everybody the last couple of days, because I haven't seen anybody that I wanted to talk to for 3 days. So anyways
real quick before you transition, just staying on the Apple thing real quick, talking about what they announced, just real quick.
Actually, before you get to that, can we do a beat here? Can we just put a beat in, put a pin in there? That's a teaser, my friend. Put a teaser in there. That's a little bump on there. That's probably not the right term. I'm making things up now. Anyways, I'm trying to be like our friends Jagoffs on the radio. So, yeah, I spent half an hour in a radio station, and I think I know what I'm doing. I did not find Bob FM. I found a Bob sign. I think I found his office, but he was not in. Anyways, I want to give a thanks to our friends. If you're interested in this conversation, if you want to be like, why the hell aren't you on Tuesdays? Also, we're going to be doing this one more time this month. I don't know what we're going to do for our makeup, but there's a thing coming up in a couple weeks where we're going to be in San Diego. I believe I understand it to being the whale's vagina, according to popular media. But we're going to be doing an event down there, and sorry, Anchorman, man.
Oh, okay.
All right. Now we've explained the joke. I'm sorry. His look. I think he was like, "What show am I on?" So
No. I know what show I was on. I just didn't know the reference. I'm not too up on modern pop culture. Yeah,
it was only the pop culture of like 15 years ago. Anyways. Katie and I recently watched it on one of our trips, so it's fresh in my head. Anyways, so yeah, no, it's a weird like Sunday through Tuesday event, so we were not going to be here. So I'm hoping we can do some we may have an off week, we may have a makeup on an odd day or a pre-record. I do not know. It depends on how my couple of weeks go. But in the meantime, AwesomeCast at SorgatronMedia.com, AwesomeCast on all the social medias. We're even on Mastodon, AwesomeCast at SorgatronMedia.social. If you're playing with that, I recommend play. Don't replace, play and expand when it comes to social media. That's my social media tip of the week, okay? Play and expand. Don't commit, because you don't know where everybody's going to go yet with this wild landscape here right now, right? But thank you to our friends that are supporting this hot mess of a podcast. Patreon.com/AwesomeCast. And this is usually the better of the hot messes of shows that we do. Coffee Club level, thank you to our friends Matt Weller and Cynthia Klosky. Fan of the show, thank you to our long time Michael Fedor, John Diggy DeGore, and Dave Podner, spouse of Ruth Julia Fair at RuthJuliaFair.com. I'm gonna add a poorly tuned jingle to that every time that we do that. And you guys support the show at patreon.com/awesomecast. And of course, thanks to Kid Mental, go look him up because he's I just saw I just uploaded Kid Mental's soundboard stuff into a soundboard website called Soundboardly, and people are using them over there. I didn't realize. Well, I guess it's public, and I'm like, oh, we'll make it board and it'll be whatever. But I just looked at the playlist since like I installed these last week, and there's like 80 plays on this thing, and I didn't press that button 80 times. Okay, well, let's get into it with. Nope, I did definitely muted that. See, this is the thing. I'm still figuring out how to work them in the show because I don't have a producer. So, no, that's not it either. I did not plug it in. Okay. This is how good I'm doing. Potter, we're going to talk about the news, and then okay. This is going to work eventually, because, we're going to talk about... Yep, it's the news. There you go. Ha! Oh, that's pretty cool, I love it. I feel like I'm doing like the old Where in the World's Common San Diego every time he does one of those. Yeah. Anyways, you want to talk about Macs. I got a Mac right here. I got a nice little M1 Pro. It's been rocking. I'm sure it's the top of the line, right?
Top of the line,
right?
Nothing better. Nothing better.
What are you talking about? What you got to talk about, Potter?
Well, I'm going to talk about that. That's now a piece of now.
What?
Because Apple came out with new stuff.
No.
It's the new hotness.
No.
Yes.
No.
In reality, it is just a spec bump.
Yes.
There's a couple of changes where Apple used to have the 13-inch MacBook Pro with the Touch Bar.
I was amazed. I saw that. I was looking through refurbs because somebody was looking for a new computer. I was like, here, look at this. I'm like, wait, why does it say it has M1? It wasn't M1. It was like still Intel, right?
No. They came out with the M2. The M2 Pro. Yeah, they updated the chips with that one.
Well, but the Touch Bar, was that still an Intel model?
No, that was an M2.
Wait, they had an M2 Touch Bar?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
And it was the low-end model?
Yeah.
What the hell is going on?
I don't know why they kept it.
That's so weird.
I think it was but it was their way to have like an M2. So they could have a Pro that was not $1,900.
They literally just slapped the motherboard in the old casing, didn't they?
Pretty much.
They really
just
that's
all they did.
Okay.
No, that's all they did. Yeah.
So we have some new MacBooks.
That's gone.
M1.
The touch bar is officially dead.
Yes. Dead. Kill it.
Dead. Kill it. So now we just have the 14 and 16-inch Pros with M3, so you can get the 14-inch with the M3, not the Pro or the Max, just the M3. You do miss a port, but it's $1,600.
Okay.
But it's a little light on the specs. 16, you can only get the Pro and the Max.
And to be honest, any of these will shred. Okay.
Oh,
any of these will shred. The M1 Mac Mini is still shredding video for me.
Oh yeah.
And I do notice a little bit of difference when I throw things at my MacBook Pro, but I still throw it at the Mac Mini because that's the one I want to walk away from when something's processing, right? So like that's definitely noticeable. So okay.
Now they did add a couple new bits to the chip because this is what Apple can do since it makes its own chips.
Yep.
It made an AV decoder so things will play a lot smoother. And they really boosted up the graphics cores.
Nice.
So you can see they're on the M3 Max, which they're and the one thing that is nice, they're saying, well, if you do this, the M3 is good. If you're, let's say, this kind of producer, the Pro's good. And they said if you're doing work into AI or high level mesh, the Max is good for you.
You want a lot in there, yeah.
Yeah, so unless you're like, it's one of those things of, do I really need it? The answer is no. It is no, you do not need it. But it does have ray tracing built in hardware.
Well, I think it is like...
So that's nice.
I think a blanket, you may not need it. It's like, it depends on where you're coming from. A lot of discussions on the podcast I'm listening to are talking about, like, this is a target at and these are the high-level pundits I listen to.
Yeah.
They said this is targeted at the people still hanging out with an Intel Mac. And,
Oh no,
and,
no. That
and
if you notice all the
yeah.
things we're saying, not how much they said how much faster it was in an M1 or an M2, but they were really saying, hey, this is so much better than that Intel.
Absolutely.
If you have an Intel, this is going to be so much better.
Absolutely.
So they're trying to get those people who still have their Intel Mac Pros, and they're like, you know what? We know you've been waiting for a couple years. You got 22 hours battery life on this thing. And it's going to be quicker.
Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if you rolled over? No,
and everything's so much better.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you have that. They definitely start with pretty penny. Like for me, if I would, let's say hypothetically I was replacing my MacBook Pro, I'd be going at an M3 Pro because I want a 16-inch model anyways. I did notice I noticed an interesting difference when I was looking at the specs in the organization, because it's usually 816 24 for RAM, right?
Yeah,
this is
I
different.
think the dies are different. Yeah.
So for this, it starts with 18 instead of 16. And then it goes from that to I think 28, if I'm not mistaken. And I presume this is a makeup for, because you have a unified memory architecture, which means your CPU and GPU. Because if you get a graphics card, it has its own RAM, right? And then sometimes if you got like an Intel one that has that built-in, you probably were replacing that graphics anyways and turning it off. It usually shares that RAM. So when you get your cheap 4 or 8 gigabyte RAM laptop from Walmart, why is this so slow? Oh, because it's not enough RAM to run your stuff, and it's also trying to do graphic stuff in there too. So it's really crunching that. So yeah, it starts at 18. The secondary, 18, 36 actually is the upgrade.
36,
from 24 to 36. 48, 64, 96, 128. So there's a lot of options there. And of course, if you're something like 128 sounds like what I need, you probably need the M3 Max and whatnot anyways. So it scales nicely. And if you need that stuff, you're a person that's not balking at the price. So if you're like, my God, who needs a $4,000 laptop? The person that knows they need a $4,000 laptop. You're not that person.
Yeah.
So
or you
I don't need it. I do video and I don't need it.
Yeah.
So.
Or if you're doing a project and you're buying it for the project and it's a line item that you're going to
absolutely
charge a customer for it.
Yes.
So yeah, definitely I could see that.
Well,
the other thing is, it sounds like they're doing something different with the RAM, where, as they kind of explained up to now, every amount of RAM said, oh, you need this amount of RAM, and so it gave you that much, and whatever was you needed some other things. So there was some RAM that wasn't used. Well, it's now dynamically figuring all that out, so it's maximizing your use of RAM. Instead of, so it's saying, oh, well, you need that RAM here, not here, not here, and it's kind of jumbling it all together. So it's using the RAM more efficiently, so it will move faster than what it was.
Yep.
Now, whether if you notice that or not, like you said, the jump, everything I'm hearing from people, the jump from the Intel to the M1 was so amazing. And the fact from M1 to M3, it's 40% faster. You may not even notice that, unless you're doing heavy coding, finding element work, heavy video processing. You're taking a MacBook Pro and you're driving 3 external monitors plus the laptop monitor.
So if you are if you're doing general work, if you're not doing anything, let's say you're not doing like 4K video, corporate videos like I do, and you're rocking an M1 Pro, you're probably not feeling a crunch because they're very, very good. They're very good. They're still blowing away stuff on the same level from my understanding. Unless you are in a market, need another one, whatever, want to deprecate that down to something. We're trying to implement a rule as much as we can financially do as a company to give ourselves about 2 or 3 year cycles here on, and just like, because my personal inclination is to run a Mac into the ground and get every bit of life out of it. But when I need to be on top of things and flexible and ahead of the technology for, again, it's a competitive market, competitive creative market. We just talked about this with cameras. we have an M1 Mac Mini, and I told myself like, well, I'm going to look for the M3 Mac Minis, and then like the M1 will be perfectly suitable for another editor, something in a production machine, and start accumulating those to add flexibility to what we're doing. Maybe that's something that goes in a machine, does not have a specific task. We show up to a show and like, oh man, I wish we had something to take care of this process here. We plug it in, we go, because it'll handle it. It will freaking handle it. You know, maybe we move it in the studio and do a Zoom ISO, which is a thing where you can treat every Zoom person. We do not do this on this show right now. We just have one Zoom call, and it's very kind of in line. But I could separate everybody as a separate camera that I can mix and do all that, and ISO capture, which is individual isolated capture for anybody that doesn't know those terms. And now, like, I have all that stuff. So what if I'm not just doing the AwesomeCast? We're doing something that's higher end, and they want all of those, so they can fix and remix and post edit, you know, or everything's better quality because now you have a dedicated thing for every one of them. That is something that you can take an M1 and do very, very well with that. So like, there's a lot of opportunities there. If you
and we're looking at
have the chance to do that.
We're probably looking at the Mac Mini next spring.
Likely.
Because the M1, the iMac got updated to the M3.
Yes,
and that's 100%. We swap one chipset out for another. That's all they did.
Oh, that's. I thought they were.
That's all they did.
It was just,
which is fine.
I was under the impression they did a little more than just the internal refresh, but I guess so. There's still the very colorful Macs iMac.
They haven't
situation.
changed the colors. And the accessories are still Lightning.
Okay, all right. So
the keyboard and the mouse, they haven't updated to USB-C, so it's still Lightning to charge it.
And this was a jump from M1 to 3, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That's pretty much it. That's what. Now, admittedly, if you need an all-in-one desktop, the M3's perfect. The M3's going to blow so much.
No, you'll be great.
Away.
You'll be great because this is not a power machine. Like, don't. I mean, it might be nice for an editor. I know I picked up my old 2007 iMac as an editor machine, you know, just because that was fantastic for the time. It was actually very fantastic for the time. But this is the dorm room one. This is the cool thing in the office one, you know. But and I think you really should. Or
even general household.
Sure.
If you just need a general household computer and you're gonna edit photo apps. You're going to edit photos.
The dining room computer that everybody shares, as if anybody does that anymore.
Yeah.
And really, I think you do need to think of it as, somebody explained this to me when I was trying to figure out what I was getting next. They're like, and I think even the Mac Mini. Oh, I guess this is kind of across the board, but I was like, well, you're basically getting a laptop that's in a different form factor that you can't take off your desk, you know? So you're getting a tied down laptop, and that's fine because the laptops are freaking crazy with these guys. So. No,
and I mean, basically, it is the exact same thing as a laptop. That's the crazy thing with the M1, the M series of chips. They're not. There's no desktop laptop chips like Intel.
No,
you get the chip.
Yep.
And you may have better cooling in the desktop, but you're basically buying the 24.5-inch monitor. So if you think about, well, you're getting a computer, but in reality, you're getting a 24.5-inch 5 or 4.5K monitor, basically a 4K monitor, with pretty good speakers and a decent webcam now, unlike this one, because this is a 6-year-old computer. That still works fine.
Sure.
But, you know, in terms of what you're getting, it's a good, decent, you know, you got kids going to school, they need a desktop instead of a laptop, which I think most kids want laptops. You know, it's what you use, so it's not bad. But you're not going to find, and I hear people complain about the cost. I'm like, it's Apple.
Yeah.
And you're comparing it to crap cheap computers.
Yes.
Which will last you maybe a year or two.
I got one of those
before everything chokes off.
I got an old HP all-in-one, and it is dog slow, and I mean, and it's not recent. It's probably a good age. But it's just the RAM's low, everything like that. You hear the crunching hard drive all the time. You know, it's just like, and I don't even know if there were tricked out versions of that. But that's
not that line. But I know like Dell and HP do have the professional lines.
Sure. And that's where you're in an office. You wanna lower that footprint, and clean things up a little bit. No, I think that's great. Dude, I worked at a job in the late 2000s where they bought the Apple Cinema display. That was it was obscenely costly then. Just literally so that when they brought clients in, they would see this fancy display. Like, that was the purpose. And again with this, and even the computer that I have, I saw the exact same model walking into a Point Park office, and it was at the desk for you to be like pull up your directory or something, right? So that's what it's for. We used it for a touchscreen at our table a lot, for people to pull up the website for the wrestling DVDs that we did for the longest time. So we drugged that to shows. It was nice, I don't want to do that with an iMac necessarily, but maybe I do somewhere down the line. You could.
They're pretty light now.
They're not touchscreen. That's where it kills it.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyways, so new Macs. But again, I'm more excited about the iPhone. Use this to shoot that. You have a few things. We're running short on time here. We got kind of a weird scheduling thing going on here. So I definitely want to bring up, I want to bring up both of these stories that you have. Okay, I guess you have three of them. Well, we talked about your one because I stole your one. Okay. I want to talk about the Honda thing that you have in here for sure. And we'll probably have to say real quick the NASA thing because that's also very cool. Okay, go. So what is I'll let you go with this.
I have no idea how it's pronounced. Moto Compacto. So there are other companies have something similar.
Oh, Honda! Hey, I remember these guys.
But this is Honda.
Yeah.
Yes. And the idea is, you see these little scooters.
But look at that thing.
Yeah, I know.
It's so adorable.
Ruth thought it was a table.
It does look like a folding table.
It looks like a folding table.
But it's like if you took a folded up folding table, wheels are kind of sticking out of it, and you have a seat and handlebars, and you're just gonna putt on this thing. It's a cute little device, isn't it?
And the neat thing is, because one thing Honda does is packaging really well. Okay, if you scroll down a little bit more to where it says shaped to perfection, the handlebar and the seat get stored inside the body. So if you keep scrolling, you can see it turn around, the seat pops off, the handlebar goes in,
the
kickstand comes up, and it turns into a little, it's 45 pounds, so there's a little handle, and you got the rolling bars.
Look at that thing.
So, and now, like I said, it goes 12 miles on a charge. It goes around as fast as someone walking. But because it's a smaller battery, you can just plug it into the wall. So the charger's built in. The charger's stored inside the body. It takes around 3.5 hours to recharge. It holds 265 pounds.
Okay.
They have an app.
They do have an app. They
have an app.
Well, I mean, just like Tesla, and they got. I love the little robot buddy here too.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. All right.
And you can brand it.
This is George Jetson, and his car folds up into a suitcase. That's what it is. Okay, and this is. I mean, I want to be clear. You're not this is last mile, right? This is maybe you took the train, bus, but you're still 10 blocks away from your work, so you're gonna go out, pop this thing up, take that little bit,
on the page there's a little video, but at the end of the video it shows it being stored in the trunk of a car.
Oh yeah.
So the idea is you put in the trunk of a car. It is tiny. It is tiny. It's only 4 inches wide.
Now here's my thing. How's my 6'4" ass gonna sit on this thing? That's a little bit of my question now.
Yeah, and you notice there's no suspension and they're solid wheels, so you're gonna feel every little bump and lump.
How's your butt? There you go.
But now, unlike a lot of things you see out there, which are kind of unique like this, you can buy this now.
Nice.
You can actually go to Honda site, and it's under $1,000, $995.
Oh, I don't think I showed all the video. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, let me pull this back here. Okay. So,
But yeah, so like I said, it's the last mile mobility. It's,
yep.
oh well, this place here, we don't allow cars in this area. You're gonna have to
Mm-hmm.
park and walk. Well,
Or oh man, you see like all the
college campus, like a college
all the
campus type
bikes
thing.
in the lobby, or they take them through the office area in the and there's like a bike in somebody's cubicle, and it's taking up all this space, and it's awkward. This thing just slides under your desk. I'm very much thinking cubicle land for this kind of thing, right?
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
like for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, and honestly, for basically $1,000,
Oh, it's not bad. That's not bad
compared to like electric bikes and everything
Yeah.
else,
Yeah.
it's not bad.
Jeez.
And like I said, it literally would fit into your cubicle and it wouldn't stand out.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
Yeah, you can just click where it says on top there, order from Honda, shop from Honda.
Yeah, I'm
Oh
in the
no, a
shop
little further
part.
down.
I'm in the shop. Oh, shop.
Right
It
there.
is.
Yep.
Yep.
And that takes you to the page, and it says, "Okay, you want to add to your cart? Add to your cart."
$9.95, baby. Yep. There you go. Add a cart. See you this week. Nope. Not doing that one. Not doing that one. Nope. Oh no. Don't order it. Don't order it. Honey,
Don't push the button. Don't push the button.
What is this giant box on our porch? What did you do while I was in California? So that's cool. Like, if I was confident I would make it up my hill and I could fit on it.
Like I said, this is something that's
to...
good if you have good weather.
Mm-hmm.
And probably you live somewhere flat.
Yeah. I don't know about the Pittsburgh thing. That's more of a
yeah.
What's a flat city? I don't know. Cleveland, Columbus. I don't know.
Columbus.
Sure.
Sorry.
Somewhere with good bike lanes and everything. So.
Well, flat. Yeah, somewhere flat,
helmet.
like Ohio.
Get your little helmet.
Indianapolis, Oklahoma. Just kind of.
Yeah. So no, that's fun. So that's the Moto. Where's that?
Moto Compacto.
Moto Compacto. Moto Compacto. I don't know why I want to say it that way, but it seems the most fun.
Mr. Roboto, that's why.
The Roboto. Moto Compacto. I think I'm also thinking like Hello Moto. Hello Moto.
Mm-hmm.
What was that, T-Mobile or something? Or yeah.
Hello Moto.
So,
yeah,
all right.
Well,
that's our little thing coming to partners.
A sidewalk near you.
Partners Outdoor Adventures near you. So. So that'd be a lot of fun. You go, see a biker gang of this, like kind of like surrounding you. You get intimidated with everybody's like suitcase bikes. So, anyways, Dave Ponder, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, we had to talk Apple. Of course, we had to talk about iPhone. We got a little geeky and creative and fun there. So this is your awesome cast. A prof pod on most of the social medias, of course.
Yep. Everywhere but TikTok, where I'm Prof Pod PGH.
Excellent. And follow there. He's prolific in our social medias, especially the Facebook groups for this show and over on the Wrestling Mayhem show. We've been playing over Mayhem show. We haven't played. I should bring in the AwesomeCast too, because it seems to be going well over there. Because Facebook keeps adding these like group chats to the Facebook groups. It was a little weird at first, but I think everybody kind of found the tone. And I'm seeing people talking with us that I normally don't see in comments or anything like that. So I think it's kind of cool. So if you're playing with Facebook groups and you're kind of on those, that might be a cool thing to turn on for you if you have a community out there. So, and we're gonna, I don't know, are you an admin over on AwesomeCast? Do I need to toss you in there? I don't. Oh, and by the way, and also I'm going to try to fix, because we had this problem with Mayhem Show. We're getting some spam over in the group. I'm going to get in there and mix things up so like there's a Q&A when you come in. So I'm hopefully going to get in front of some of the spam that's been happening. And I understand it was some terrible spam, terrible offensive spam over the weekend that I was made privy to. So it is not, I joked about it with the person that showed me. I'm just like, oh, we need new revenue streams. But no, we are not a porn podcast now. But anyways, we're going to try to, once I get any couple minutes to take care of it, I'm going to try to get into the group and try to set those up for you. So I apologize for anybody that might have seen something in their feed from that over the last couple of days. But it's the internet. It's what's going to happen. Thanks, Mark Zuckerberg. Thanks, Mock. I'm at Sorgatron. You can see my adventures being soaked in soda in Detroit over the last couple of days, or anywhere else. I got to check out Nickelodeon World, although I had a very sad moment because the Ninja Turtle coaster that I completely was looking forward the entire cruddy weekend I was in Jersey, so it wasn't exactly high marks. It was closed. So at their American Dream, like Mall of America-ish kind of place that they have out there, which was very interesting actually. So I'm gonna have to go out there with some friends, some roller coaster friends, if you will. So thank you, everybody. Of course, we will. We should be back at our regular Tuesday if you want to join us live at the on the thing that we do. Jeez, I'm doing great tonight, guys. Thank you, everybody. You have been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at Sorgatron.